Did a win, boys and girls, ladies and gents. We did a win. We're back. My God, we've been terrible. We've been in agony. I told you. The last video I done on my channel was titled Everything Hurts. And I meant that. Everything hurts, man. When Liverpool lose, everything hurts. I don't care what anyone says. And to lose, oh my God, it was stressful. It was painful. But hey, we got a bit of pain relief, a bit of paracetamol. Is paracetamol a pain reliever? It can be used as a Panadol. I don't know, what do you use? What do you use these days for pain relief, guys? I don't know. You guys are...
No, paracetamol, ibuprofen,
yeah. The Liverpool Football Club gave us a bit of pain relief.
Just a little bit, without the surgery.
Well, we'll see how much. We'll ask how much. Are you fixed? Are you cured? Or are you still feeling a bit dizzy but recovering well? We're here to discuss Liverpool, Frankfurt 1, Liverpool 5. Are the Reds back? Are we back to our best? Pros and cons. We will tuck into it all. First and foremost, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and we will get into it. People, what's the SSRI, an antidepressant? Okay. I'm gonna have that.
Anti-inflammatory, bit of Panadol, something. More.
Well, I don't know. But how are we feeling, lads? Of course, I've got the panel with me. I've got Ben, I've got Cav, I've got Keith in the building. Shout out the boys. How was you feeling, Ben, before going into the game? Because I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh shit, Liverpool are playing today," and I'm talking about Liverpool fans.
Dead or alive again.
It's mad how much influence it has on our well-being.
It was, well, it was the opponent, lads. That's what it was. The opponents absolutely killed all our vibes, didn't it, on the weekend? But you know what, though, mate? It was a tough one for me to take that. I don't know whether it was the team or fucking what, but Liverpool were garbage. That's what was the worst thing. They didn't turn up, but thankfully cured ever so slightly last night, and we'll get into it, I'm sure. But yeah, all good, mate. How are you?
Good, man. Much better now that we put a win on the board. Cav, mini crisis, disaster, or teething problems? Did you anticipate this run? I guess no one anticipated this level of defeats, but how are you assessing before yesterday, and how are you feeling now?
Yeah, massively disappointed like everybody else leading up to yesterday's game, because whether you are very rational and think that, okay, this is a new side, a lot of change, a lot of happenings, you could accept that maybe it wouldn't be perfect, but I don't think any Liverpool fan in their right mind can accept losing 4 games on the bounce. That should never happen. You know, no matter how new a team is or how new players are, the amount of quality that's in this squad alone should mean that we bounce back after 1 loss, let alone 2. Can't even think about getting to 4. So really, really disappointed. I think it probably was a bit of a mini crisis. Maybe we're not even out of it. I don't know. But it's totally understandable why Liverpool fans would be upset about what they've been seeing, because it just shouldn't be happening. And for some players, it looks like a little bit of lack of effort and things like that, which is never acceptable. So going into yesterday's game, I must admit, I couldn't feel anymore.
So you was the guy who tweeted, "Oh shit, Liverpool are playing."
No, I was on that side. I'm not going to lie, because there's only so much pain the body will allow you to feel until you become numb. So I'm just like, Liverpool playing today. Let's just see. I'm gonna watch it. I don't control my own body in that way. No matter what, no matter where I am, I have to watch Liverpool. So I know I'm going to watch the game. But feelings-wise, I'm just like, oh, whatever happens. I'm getting used to losing now. So let's see. After the game, yeah, I'm not gonna go as far as to say we're back, we're gonna win everything. But let's just remain positive with what we've seen, because there was some really good stuff out there yesterday.
There was, Keith. I know, you're a man on the glass half full side, but even your demeanor must have been mold or mood slightly wavering, or was it never in doubt?
I think For me, I just think that I've come to I've accepted, and I've actually said it on the show, and I've said it to you as well when we had when we spoke the G show, that I've kind of come to accept what type of season this is going to be, right? So it's kind of like the first 7.
When did you accept that?
I started to accept that this is going to be a chaotic season, right? It's going to be one of those seasons when we lost to Palace, because that Palace defeat. Every single game we played up until that point was on a knife edge till the very end, every single game. So at some point, and I agree with a lot of pundits that have said that at some point it was gonna swing the other way. And once it swung the other way, I had a feeling, I'm like, okay, here we go. We don't control games. I can accept that because we're trying to play a new style of football. I can accept that. What I can't accept is, at times, I feel that the players who should step up, who are the leaders, who are the stars who have earned big contracts to continue to be the stars of the show at the club, should raise their game, in my opinion, particularly in scenarios like the games that we've seen. Raising your game when you're dealing with long balls, fighting more for second balls. This is what I want to see, and this is what I'm not seeing, because I just don't feel like at this moment in time this team's really the team, if you know what I mean. And I've accepted that because I think we have gone through a massive transition, and I think it's going to take a bit of time and a lot of bumps on the way before we start to really perform and control. Really control. Control is the number one thing. Coming up to this game, though, to Ben's point, it was tailor-made for Liverpool. Literally, this is a club that let in goals for fun, try and score goals for fun. They were never going to try and score goals for fun. To be fair to Arne Slot, he saw that in advance and set up a team that he would have likely have set up in the last 15 minutes straight at the start, because he knew that Frankfurt manager was going to go and take off his two forwards to play that game. So everybody chatting about Slot and saying he says this, he says that. When Slot says a manager changes his game plan for him, Frankfurt did it in advance. Frankfurt did it in advance, and they played into our hands. Whether that works in the Premier League, we can discuss it.
Listen, we are going to discuss that because you've covered about 3 or 4 of my talking points, which is brilliant. Then he segued brilliantly into the formation and lineup. Keith put it like brilliantly. He said he put the final 15 minutes lineup from the start, because that's what we end up playing, right? Everyone was up front. Team comes out. I think we all expected Robbo to come in. I think we all expected Frimpong maybe to start. Well, I don't know if you expected that. I won't put words in your mouth. I think we all expected Ekitike to start and Wirtz probably. But I don't think, realistically, even though some of us wanted Salah to be rested, rotated, dropped, I don't think... Oh, I don't know. Did you anticipate? Did you think he's going to do that? Make that call as well? Because that was the big call of the night.
Was you know, that would have been 2 away games. Well, it was 2 away games. You know, dropped. Let's be honest about it. We saw the face, and I'm sure we'll go into details a bit more on it. But you know, I thought Frimpong would start. It's just a shame, isn't it? You know, gets an injury. I think the injury's occurred, mate, because he's been used as like some fucking Swiss Army knife all over the place. You know what I mean? Attacking, then he's defending, he's in and out and all that shit doesn't help. I think that's what Conor Bradley had, you know, at times throughout his Liverpool tenure. In and out all the time and then getting knocks, and that's been his problem. So hopefully Frimpong doesn't suffer this constant I think it's the hamstring, GRizz, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hamstring. But I tell you what, mates, you know, they really needed that. The manager needed that. Tell you what, mate, you know, and we're still not out the woods yet. You know, the league game is coming up, and you know, it's out for me. It's as good as last night was. We take all the positives. Cav's just said that you've got to take it as it comes. You know, we played some amazing football last night. I think it was the night that the world wanted to see these 3 players: Ekitike, Isak, Wirtz. You know, and this is the future of Liverpool, Chris. This is where we've got to go, and we got a glimpse of what afterlife's going to be after Mo Salah departs. And you know, I think it'll be a lot sooner than people think. But I just thought he showed the stuff last. He used class. Do you know what I mean? And do you know one thing we've said on the pods? We haven't been scoring enough goals. Been a bit unlucky as well. Mate, they got out there and absolutely battered them because they went 1-0 down, mate, and their heads could have massively dropped. And do you know one thing as well, Chris? We could talk about the front line all night, but I think the skipper and Canate, them goals will do them a massive, massive favour, you know, going forwards. They've had a lot of shit on the name. So I'll be honest, Van Dijk at that Man United game, I think that was the worst performance I've ever seen Van Dijk have for Liverpool. I thought he was garbage. You never really say that though, Chris, especially at Anfield. Remember the mad stats Virgil's had? You know what I mean? At Anfield, where he's hardly lost the game in the league and what have you. He looked like a schoolboy out there at times, didn't he? I think he got caught out with some of the formations where he didn't know whether to come or go. And I just think, mate, it's what the manager builds upon this, Chris. If he changes that team drastically on the weekend, that's where all the shit's going to come back on his name, in my opinion. But good night, and we move on. And hopefully, it's the next one I'm really looking at. Because we can't have a great night and then do shit, in my opinion. So
we're going to get into Brentford and obviously see the repercussions coming off this, how they're going to affect Brentford and what could be done, what should be done, and give our opinions on it. Cav, lineup-wise, good to see Ekitike get a start. I haven't heard your opinion on him so far. For me, he's been the absolute shining light for Liverpool, alongside Dominic Szoboszlai, of course. But the rest of the lineup, was you slightly surprised Gakpo gets another start? Gomez still not trusted in case he breaks down and we're left with only Ibu. He's got a few tricky situations to deal with, hasn't he, selection headache-wise?
Yeah, look, at this point in time, Slot has dug himself a bit of a hole with all of the drastic changes, especially in-game, throwing the kitchen sink at things by throwing all your forwards on, and in my opinion, too early at times as well. He's trying everything. So then you go from wanting a manager to try things to actually wanting your manager to do a bit less and just try and keep some consistency, even if things aren't working out in the game as we would like. It's never going to work out in the long run if you continuously keep changing things. So when it was coming into this game, I was intrigued by his lineup because I didn't know how to feel about it. I didn't know whether to stick or twist. Do you stick and get the consistency, or do you twist to try and land on a lineup that gives you what you want? And it feels like at the minute he can't do anything right. But when I seen the team sheet come out, it wasn't unexpected because he has been changing the side for the Champions League games. And I think that it was so obvious that he needed to play Ekitike, especially because he's been one of the standout players this season. He's really kicked off his Liverpool career well, despite everything being quite unsettled. And he's just got so much energy and so much effort and fight and technical ability, and his link-up's good, his hold-up's good, and he looks composed in front of goal. We've seen that again last night. So he was a must to be back in the side. Florian Wirtz, I think, has been quite disappointing since he's been here, but even in his sort of game, even when he's not getting the goals and the assists and he's easy to dispossess, there's still good moments. He's still calm. He's not flustering. He's still trying to remain composed in the game. And I think you've just got to stick with him and stick with that. It will come to good fruition at some point. So you have to get them two players back in the side. Rather surprised that we went with both forwards. It leaves a little option off the bench. I know Chiesa comes on and can do a job, and Salah's obviously still there, but it is still a risk playing both your strikers from the off. But overall, I like the team. I like the shape. Marcus, I'll be honest with you, I know the lineups were put out at the start of the game. I weren't sure if that's how it was going to be. Wirtz on the right, whether he would drift in field and just leave that right-hand side so exposed, especially if Frimpong's bombing on. So it came with a lot of risk, that lineup. And I think at the start of the game, I'm sure we'll get into a bit more. Start of the game, we kind of seen it work against us, where everybody's drifting into the same areas. It's a bit congested. We're not a tick-attack side, or certainly not yet. We're not that great in ball retention at the minute. So it was disjointed. It left a lot of space to be exposed. But then we started to build into the game. Then we started to figure it out. And that lineup suddenly started to show what I think Slot intended from it. So, I think just in a period of time, we're not quite knowing what the right thing is, to be honest with you. But yeah, look, as these players, like what I opened with, these players are good enough to make anything work, if you like. They just got to stick to task. And that's what they did in the end.
Okay, that's what I agree with Cav in terms of, do you remember we've spoken about Slot needs to go back to basics, but then we know he's quite an innovative manager during games. He likes to tweak formations, change players' roles, etc., etc. And we've come to a place already in the season where we're demanding simplicity almost, or back to basics, but our team is not made up of basic players, if you know what I mean by that, guys. Like, we've got complex, highly technical, skillful, big players now. It's not a basic team made up of basic players. This is a formation. Everyone, every week knows this is the formation. We play different formations and all the players pretty much can play different roles.